The real reason for the New York Knicks problems may have just been revealed in a game that they played against the Charlotte Hornets, as everything the New York Knicks have done right and wrong this season was shown in the game the New York Knicks played against the Hornets, and we're going to break this down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris and Dariel here, and we're going to jump right into the video, as always. Also, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like the content we're putting out. 26% of viewers watching this video are subscribed. Join the other side. Join the cool side. But join the side that believes that Taj Gibson should be the president of the United States.
Facts.
But look, here's the deal. The New York Knicks obviously have not been a perfect team this season. They're 11-8. The Eastern Conference is pretty poor, and that's leading to the Knicks still being one of the best teams record-wise in the Eastern Conference. And we all know talent-wise they have the second best record, or they have the second most talent, I should say, in the East. They don't have the second best record at all. But what we're seeing is a New York Knicks team that has a lot of good things going for them, like the superstardom of Jalen Brunson and the play of Karl-Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby's ascension and Josh Hart being great and Deuce McBride's ascension as a sixth man. There's also a collection of problems. The biggest one that most New York Knicks fans are worried about right now is Mikal Bridges. Bridges has not been that good this season. This game that he played against the Hornets, the man shot 3 for 10, 1 for 4 from 3, had 8 points, and the defense is just not what we expect to see out of Mikal Bridges. Now, a lot of people are worried. The Knicks gave up 6 first-round picks for Mikal, so it does get concerning, Dariel. But at the same time, what we're seeing is a New York Knicks team that they're doing a lot of things right, but we're also seeing some things being done wrong. Specifically, Mikal, it seems like the Knicks don't know what to do with him in a role. And on top of that, I mean, these starters are just... The Knicks are playing the Hornets. I get it's a close game, but you're running these guys. Josh Hart at 41 minutes, OG at 40 when he's injury-prone, Cat 39, Mikal and Brunson 37. Mind you, Mikal sat the final 8.5 minutes of the game.
I knew the Charlotte Hornets were going to play the Knicks today, but the only reason why I was able to catch the game was because I was up early doing Black Friday shopping.
Oh, yeah. Good morning out in L.A.
Yeah, yo.
12 p.m. where you are.
Dude, hilarious. I was Black Friday shopping on my phone, and I look at the NBA app. I'm like, wait, what? The Knicks are playing in 5 minutes? Hilarious. Anyway, yeah, no, Mikal Bridges is definitely struggling, but it's interesting because I was just listening to the Coach Tibbs at the press conference right before we started recording, and one thing he said specifically about Mikal Bridges, he said that Mikal Bridges is not a specialist. He's better when he's looked at as an all-around player. Now, I do agree with him, but at the same time, when you're looking at these shooting numbers, like you said, 3 of 10 from the field and then 1 of 4 from three-point line. So it is a little worrisome, but I feel like you and I are kind of like broken records. We keep saying that we just got to give it time. We got to let the chemistry develop, and it's true. We do need to give it time. Not everything is going to work right away. But at the same time, I do understand the worry of Knicks fans saying how what we gave up for Mikal Bridges and we need him to really start putting it together, especially when you're kind of putting all of the pressure on Brunson and Cat. Cat had a decent game today, 19 points, 12 rebounds, 8 of 16 from the floor, and 2 of 5 from three-point line. But I honestly feel like Cat is... If anybody is fatigued, I think Cat is, especially on this 5-game road trip when he was going up against bigs from Dallas, the bigs from Utah. He was going up against Jokic. Cat, 39 minutes in tonight's game. I'm glad that we got the win. But on top of that, with LaMelo being out, with Miles Bridges being out, like I wasn't expecting us to blow out the Charlotte Hornets, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised at how much of this was a contested contest all the way until the end of the game.
I still think Mikal is going to figure this out with the Knicks. I'm not that concerned. I see the reason for concern. I mean, the worst plus-minus of anyone out there. I mean, 2 Knicks were in the minus tonight, and it was Jericho Sims, who didn't really play much at all. And then outside of Sims, there was Mikal Bridges at minus 14. Mind you, Sims is minus 1 in the 8 minutes that he played. The New York Knicks are playing essentially a 7-6-man rotation,
Facts.
and it's what's causing this sloppiness. Mikal's being overplayed, and he's being sloppy. He threw the ball away a handful of times. He looked...
Facts.
Tibbs is... constantly giving him insane matchups while also playing him the most minutes per game in the NBA. It's not sustainable, and I understand what the Knicks are waiting to do is get their players back. The guys who are available who didn't play are Matt Ryan, Jacob Toppin, Ariel Huckporty, Tyler Kolek, and Pacome Dadier, the same guys who have been available, who have not really gotten minutes. Now, I understand Matt Ryan has not been able to find his shot, and he's there to shoot, so if that's the case, you don't exactly have much to do with him. But outside of that, Toppin's on a two-way. But you got to go out there and play these guys. Like, there's no reason not to. You need to thicken out this rotation. You're burning these guys out in the starting lineup, and it's leading to sloppy play where you're barely beating the Charlotte Hornets. The Knicks looked sloppy. They looked like they were stuck in the mud the entire game until Jalen Brunson decided the Knicks were going to win. I mean, you're playing the Hornets. This is a game where you should be able to empty your bench. I understand that the rotation's thin, but not doing that, I think, causes concern because we're seeing that teams are now switching on Towns, and Towns isn't taking advantage of the fact that he's damn near 7 feet tall, and
what was I saying?
pounds.
What was I saying when they traded? What was one of the gripes that I had with him? He doesn't take advantages of his mismatches. He relies too much on the 3-point shot. Now lately, the 3-pointer hasn't been bad, but like you're saying, like the switches that are being caused in the game. Get your butt on the block and just do your little turnaround hook shot. So that's one of the things that I was saying when we got the trade for Cat, and that was one of the things that I was a little annoyed with him just as an overall player. But I want to go back to what you were saying about Jalen Brunson and just the rest of the team, how Tibbs is kind of like running them down. Jalen Brunson, right after the game finished, he put on the headset and he had an interview with Alan Hahn and that other guy, I forgot his name, sorry. He literally said that we didn't come to play in the first half. And if you take a look at the past 5 games, Utah, they took that game for granted, and they lost. Dallas, I don't want to say that they took it for granted. Dallas just came out on an absolute scorcher, an absolute heater. But, like, why are you coming out in these games and it looks like you're lackadaisical? And then Jalen Brunson in the post-game interview right after the game, he said that, yeah, we didn't come out ready to play. Why is that?
I honestly think it's fatigue. I understand the Knicks don't really practice that often in the sense of like hard practices. NBA teams don't really do that anymore. It's very shoot around based now. But it's the fact is these guys are being overplayed. There's no way around it. It's what's happening. You can't play guys 40 minutes. You can't play your entire starting lineup 40 minutes a night. Like, this is exactly the thing that Tibbs has a reputation for, despite the fact that he's went away from this in past years. And now we're seeing it again. And it's a terrible idea. It just, there's no real sense. There's no reason to do it. I don't care if you have a weak bench. It's November 29th. Like, everyone knows the NBA season doesn't start till Christmas anyway. I couldn't care less if the Knicks are at 500 by the new year. I really couldn't care less. It's about what happens after that, going into the playoff push and going into the playoffs. I really don't think it's a problem that the Knicks are only 11-8. I think this is what happens when you have a new team that comes into the season with some injuries to key role players such as Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa. And frankly, what we're seeing is a lack of anyone else getting these minutes. Instead of having someone step up, Tibbs isn't allowing them to. He's playing Jericho Sims 8 minutes a night, and that's it. He's playing Cameron Payne 11 minutes, and then he's giving Deuce McBride actual bench minutes, where this just looks like the rotation of a team in the Eastern Conference Finals, not a team playing the Charlotte Hornets on Black Friday. It makes no sense, and I'm very confident that this is going to stop, especially once Precious is back. He'll take a big chunk of minutes. But at the same time, like, play Pacome or something. You guys need another forward out there, clearly. Put Pacome in the game, or even just say screw it and use Jacob Toppin as a two-way deal. You have him on a two-way deal. You have an open roster spot. See if he's got anything while he has there's guys who should be getting a chance to perform and show they belong in the rotation, and Tibbs isn't giving them that chance, and it's problematic.
I'm guessing what you're saying is you would give Pacome Dadier, you would give Ariel Huckporty, you would give Tyler Kolek, you would give Jacob Toppin, you would give Matt Ryan, a minimum of 8 minutes to like just spread it out as much as you can?
I think it's more a matter of you have 3 guys who work for the bench right now, and Sims, who's been playing much better as the seasons went along, Cameron Payne, and Deuce McBride. They should be Deuce shouldn't be getting more minutes. He's getting the perfect amount of minutes for a 6-man.
No, absolutely. I agree with you.
It's give Payne a bit more. He looks good out there. He controls the pace well. He gives you a chance to not play Jalen Brunson 37 minutes. You could play Jalen Brunson 30, 33, 34 minutes because you have Cameron Payne, who obviously is nowhere near as good as Jalen Brunson, but he emulates Brunson in a lot of ways in a sense where he'd work well with many different units out there as the point guard. And then since you have Payne and Deuce out there, give Matt Ryan or Jacob Toppin or Pacome. I'd love to see one of them because all of them, in theory, can hit shots. And one of them probably could add some role playing to a team that just needs 10 minutes out of a role player. Like, I think everyone on the bench, or the two guys in Cam and Jericho, should be getting more minutes off the bench, and the starters should be getting less. But on top of that, add a ninth guy and give him 10 minutes a game, whether it's Toppin or Pacome or Matt Ryan. I think one of them should be getting minutes. I think the most sense goes to Pacome because he's the longest term player on the team. But also I am just biased because I like Pacome. Try Matt Ryan. See if he can hit threes and be an effective player on the bench. Don't just let them all sit there to rot. This should be their chance to prove something, and instead Tibbs is just burning out the starters, and it's causing games like this where the Knicks are beating the Hornets by the skin of their teeth. And what was really a 4-point win, but scoreboard says 1-point win.
Yeah, that last shot was super funny the way the game ended.
That was. Yeah.
Cam Payne, the reason why Cam Payne, I guess Coach Tibbs is not playing him a lot is probably on the defensive end, and I do understand that. But again, yeah, like you're wearing these players down, so I get it. I mean, this is something that we keep talking about, and I'm going to keep bringing it up. I think Coach Tibbs is in a little bit of a tough spot. Like these players that we've been talking about, the Darriers, the Koliks, the Matt Ryans, like, yeah, they're NBA players, but they're like rookies, and also they're not really proven. And then you got Precious with the injury. Cam Payne had an hamstring injury. Deuce had knee inflammation, so he was put in a tough spot. So we'll see what happens. I do want to give a nice shout out to Deuce though, because I feel like Deuce was the one that really changed the energy of the game, especially when they got, I think it was the beginning of the fourth or late in the third, where he got that steal and he took it end to end, and then he dunked it. And then on top of that, yo, did you hear the crowd? The crowd was chanting defense in Charlotte. Like, that was amazing to hear. They were giving Jalen Brunson the MVP chance. And I really do feel like the hustle play and the energy of Deuce McBride definitely changed the way this game was going to go. And I do believe that the crowd in Charlotte definitely gave the Knicks a boost. And it's just a beautiful thing to hear and see the Charlotte fans chanting for the Knicks. Like, I was going crazy. I was like, golly, like those defensive chants are super loud and they're not even in the Garden.
It is helpful that the Knicks effectively play 60 home games a year because there's so many areas nearby. I mean, you got 2 from the Mets, you get 1 to 2 from Charlotte, you get a ton of Knicks fans in Philly. Given Philly is Philly, they're great. They have great fans. But everywhere you go on the East Coast specifically, also, you just get so many Knicks fans because there's so many New Yorkers who end up moving more south as time goes on throughout their life. So it's like Knicks fans are well-traveled and they're all over the place when the Knicks are good because they can go there and be proud of their team. So we're seeing that happen, and it's great, and it helped them win this game. I just worry about Mikal right now, where it's like I feel like he's going to get this together, but it feels like the Knicks need to figure out his role. And on the topic of Tibbs being in a tough spot, I understand that he's dealing with injuries and unproven players, but this part of the regular season is when you let a rookie or Matt Ryan, like when you let one of the multiple rookies or Matt Ryan try to prove themselves, this is the time. If they lost this game, it would be annoying. But in 6 months from now, if the Knicks are when the Knicks are in the playoffs, nobody's gonna care that they lost a game in November to the Hornets. Like, I'd rather them give more guys a chance and have the Knicks line up thin out and see them lose like an extra game or 2 in November, because frankly, November basketball, it doesn't not matter. It just matters a lot less. And frankly, I couldn't care less about the NBA Cup, so it doesn't affect me if they lose this game or not. I don't care if the Knicks are in the NBA Cup. The only fun part about it is there's more Knicks basketball. That's the one positive of the NBA Cup.
I actually want them to win the NBA Cup because I'm going to get a little nerdy here, but when was the last time we actually won something real? 1972, man. And, like, I get it. It's not the Larry O'Brien, But if you win an NBA Cup, like the Knicks organization, the Knicks franchise, we have not won anything substantial since that 1972-73 NBA championship. If we get the NBA Cup, we can finally say that we're champions of something. And then that momentum can maybe hopefully go into the playoffs and then go into the NBA Finals. I'm not saying that the Knicks are going to the NBA Finals, but I'm just saying it's like it'll be nice for the Knicks to hoist some type of trophy. We haven't seen that. I wasn't even a thought. You weren't even a thought when they won that championship. So that's just like, that's a little bit of the nerdy side of me. I do understand it's only the second year of the NBA Cup, so players are like, some players, they're acting like it's a little bit too cool for school. But just me personally, I actually do want them to, I want to see them win the NBA Cup. I do want to say one last thing about this game and about a particular player, LaMelo Ball. I don't care the numbers that he's putting up. I don't care if he's averaging a triple-double. I don't care. He is not a winning player. Ever since he's been going crazy last week, NBA Twitter has been ablaze talking about he's the best point guard in the league. Are you crazy? This guy literally hasn't proven anything. Now, I do want to give him a little bit of slack because he's been a little bit injury prone, specifically with the ankles. So he hasn't been able to perform to his ability because of the ankle surgeries and all that stuff. But the few examples that he has of being in any sort of conversation for postseason play, he's been in the play-in. He hasn't even made a playoff appearance. And I believe both of those, or maybe that only play-in outing that they had, I think they got in as a 10th seed. LaMelo Ball is a good player, but he is 100%, in my opinion, not a winning player. He is a YouTube clip player, and this talk of him being the best point guard in the league, everybody needs to chill. Let LaMelo actually prove something first until he's even in the conversation.
Well, I don't think he's the best point guard in the league, but I think it's unfair to say he's not a winning player because he's played on nothing short of terrible teams, and the Hornets team around them just isn't very good. Now, I think they should be better than they are. When they're fully healthy, and given Grant Williams is out for the year, so we'll disregard that. But when they're fully healthy, I mean, Josh Green's a solid piece. Miles Bridges, I mean, I can't stand the guy, but he's a solid he's good at the sport of basketball, I guess. Brandon Miller's good. Obviously, couldn't hit the ocean tonight, but he's not a first option, or at least not now. He's so young. He's in his second season. Like, it's fine. I think it's good for him that he's shooting 25 shots in a game when LaMelo's not there. I think it's so too early to tell because he spent so much time injured and on a bad team where it's just tough to gauge. Now, I do think they should be a little bit better than they are with the way LaMelo's playing. Those stats should lead to more wins, but it's the Hornets in general have not been a great team, and they're dealing with a lot of injuries, specifically today. But frankly, it is what it is. And also, it's not that I want the Knicks to lose the NBA Cup. It's just, I get your point. It'd be cool to see a win. I couldn't care less. I got you. I want to see this team be good in the playoffs.
I got you. LaMelo is in what season? This is what, like, 5th year maybe?
He was drafted the same year that Obi Toppin was drafted. So that was the
COVID draft.
2020 NBA draft.
So this is like his 4th year.
And his second season, he was an all-star.
Right. The only reason why I'm saying this is because when I say Charlotte Hornets, everybody's going to say LaMelo Ball is the best player. And when you have that title, why aren't you being successful? Like, everybody has the same pressure whenever you're looked at as the best player on your team. Talk about the Jalen Brunsons, talk about the Tyrese Halliburtons, like the Joel Embiids. Every best player on your team has the pressure of, okay, what have you done to lead your team to what? And LaMelo Ball, he literally is a play-in. And I don't see him as a winning player until he really changes the way he plays. Right now, to me, it's literally just YouTube clips. Like, when is he going to actually make his teammates around him better?
So taking a look at what LaMelo Ball does from just a shooting perspective and a usage perspective, because it's a big reason why his numbers are really high. And given LaMelo's a great player, but we're seeing these numbers, and I mean, he leads the league in field goal attempts with 449. Second is De'Aaron Fox with 385, and third is Anthony Edwards with 381. So everyone's nearby each other. LaMelo's way inflated there. He's taken the most three-pointers. Mind you, also, he does not lead the league in most field goals made. It's Giannis. LaMelo is second at 193, but Giannis does lead the league. Also, three-point attempts. LaMelo's taken 236, while Anthony Edwards taken 199. Third is Jason Tatum with 193. So again, everyone's close. LaMelo Ball is far and away ahead. Also, Edwards leads the league in three-pointers with one more three than LaMelo Ball does. So it's not like he's shooting at a completely efficient rate. He's missed the most field goals in the league and has a 50 field goals missed jump over Anthony Edwards. Mind you, Jalen Green is third with 203, and Anthony Edwards has 206. So LaMelo's missed 256, the Edwards is 206, and Jalen Green's 203. Now, on top of that, unsurprisingly, he also has the highest usage rate in the NBA with a 39.6. Second is Giannis, the guy who arguably outside of Jokic has been the second best player in the league this season with a 36.7. And Giannis is carrying the entire Milwaukee Bucks franchise on his back, while LaMelo's at nearly a 40 usage percentage, which is absolutely insane. Now,
those numbers are nasty, bro. Those numbers are nasty, dog.
I'm looking up the highest usage percentage of all time.
And not in a good way when I say nasty. I mean in a bad way. Like, dude, come on, share the ball. Make your teammates better.
So the highest usage rate of all time.
James Harden.
So LaMelo right now is third. He has the third highest usage rate of all time. Here are the other people who had the... I'm going to read you the rest of the top five. Number one, Russell Westbrook at 41.5 the season when he went nuclear. Right after KD left in 2016, 2017. Won the MVP. James Harden in 2019.
Right.
40.3 usage percentage. Fourth, Kobe Bryant in 2006, 38.7. And then fifth is Giannis in 2023, 38.5. We're seeing LaMelo Ball have an all-time high usage rate.
The Charlotte Hornets, they haven't been able to do a good job of getting talent around him, but it's not like he's playing with like 100% bums. Like Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Nick Richards, Grant Williams, like you said, Tony ACL. But like, I don't know, the conversation is interesting. That's just something I wanted to harp in, and I'm definitely going to keep my eye on LaMelo Ball. Hopefully he doesn't get injured, but we'll see what happens.
But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about the Knicks down below. Do you think the real reason for their struggles has been the overplaying and Thibodeau not exactly figuring out this new starting lineup full of defense on the perimeters and not in the paint where his defenses usually have an anchor? Let us know down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Dariel, you got anything to add?
I was thinking about doing the outro, but...
Do it.
All right, cool. I'm going to add something spicy at the end, too. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is loose. Shout out to Deuce for coming into the game and giving a nice energy spark. OG Anunoby for Defensive Player of the Year. Taj Gibson. We saw Taj Gibson tonight. It was nice to see our guy run around, not in a Knicks uniform, obviously. Taj Gibson for President. And just for this video, just for this specific video, LaMelo Ball is a bum. But until next time, he's not a bum, but whatever. Until next time, guys, we'll check you guys out on the next video. Peace.